Hi! The fuck is that hair? That should be significantly better. There we go. So recently I quit Reddit. And by recently, I mean we're going to be quitting today, starting right away here. But before I get into quitting Reddit again, I want to just talk a little bit about my previous experiences. Probably because you're thinking, oh, someone else quitting social media. Heard it a million times. They always come back. And my story is sort of like that. Funny story, actually. I've quit Reddit 4 times. Probably can't see that behind the mic. And this will be my 5th. And when I say quit Reddit, I don't just mean I stopped for a month. I mean successful 3 to 9 month-ish breaks. You call them breaks. I call them quit because at the time I genuinely thought it'd be the last time I'd visit the site. Obviously by the 4th time I should have learned my lesson. So I've never really been a social media guy. I just don't like the concept. Ever since I was a kid, any interaction I've had with it was pretty much negative. Not even me getting bullied or anything, just overall a net negative. I found I just lost time to it and never gained anything in return. So I was a kid that never really had Facebook, never really had Instagrams or your whatever. I didn't even have Snapchat until a little while ago, a couple of years ago. Even when it was booming and all my friends were using it, I thought it was another social media thing. So I'm not big into them. How does this tie into Reddit? Well, I do consider Reddit sort of a social media thing, but it almost fills the same void in our minds as a social media platform like Facebook or Twitter. Because of that, and because it fills the same void, Reddit was definitely one that dug into me, and I feel it's dug into so many people. So I've quit Reddit 4 times in the past, and for a variety of reasons. The first time I noticed it was just chewing up so much of my free time. For a while, I would come home from school, and I would just go on Reddit for 3 hours. If you factor in that in for 5 days a week, that's 15 hours gone just scrolling through Reddit. And I'd say maybe of those 3 hours a day, 15 to 20 minutes of it I found actually worthwhile, and even then that might be a bit of a stretch. So if you can do the math, that's a lot of free time gone for nothing. Another reason I quit Reddit earlier in my life is because I found it was getting in the way of schoolwork. I genuinely was just more interested in mindlessly scrolling through Reddit than I was doing my work or my projects or things like that, which is obviously not good for anyone. I also just found after enough time, it gets stale. Even switching subreddits, changing your mains, what you're subscribed to, browsing differently, trying new, going on top of subreddits you haven't been on before, eventually it just gets stale. There's very few things that will entertain me once I start hitting my Reddit intake threshold, as we'll call it. So when I start hitting that threshold, there's just no reason for me to be there anymore. Hell, there's not even a reason for me to be there in the beginning, other than mild entertainment. And even then, it fails to revive most of the time. As some of you know, Reddit's also got worse over the years. We're not really going to talk about the political climate too much in depth, but let's just say wrongthink is illegal, everyone's hive mind, and everyone's on the train of hating others. Now, I'm not giving a political stance. All I'm saying is this kind of mentality is extremely unhuman, is anti-empathetic, and I think it's vile and disgusting. So when I see this, that's a good time for me. Genuinely though, it's not really a great place for discussion or open-mindedness. That's where those things go to die, is on Reddit. So, why am I quitting this time? If I'm being totally honest, I haven't really hit my Reddit threshold yet, but today I realized 2 reasons I need to quit Reddit today. The first reason I wish to quit Reddit today is September 30th. Thusly, next month begins October, or as many Redditors call it, Spooktober. The memes during Spooktober, the culture during Spooktober, the fucking platform during October turns into a hive mind of forcing jokes that to me are not funny. And I mean, that could describe all of Reddit. And some people may find these jokes funny. For me, I do not. Listen, skeleton humor and spook humor was funny to me the first time I was introduced to it on the internet, but the fact that you guys recycle this every year gets really fucking annoying. Really fast. Like, really fast. I don't know, maybe I'm making this a bigger issue than it is. All I know is that every year previous, around October, I enjoy Reddit a lot less. Fuck. And reason number 2, it is the United States presidential election. In a political climate so fucking divided, I already hated Reddit in 2016. Fuck, I hated the whole internet in 2016 around the presidential election. And I can't imagine this year. I looked at one post today that brought it up. And for some dumb reason, I opened the comments. I wish to implode and have a swift death after reading that thread. So these 2 reasons alone are pretty much the reason I'm quitting this time. I'll probably be back if we're being totally honest. Hopefully it'll be 9 months to a year. But we'll see. I'll have to take it one day at a time. And before everybody goes, oh, you've been back so many times, of course you're going to be back. Whatever, I'm willing to accept that. I do know the strats, though. I know the strategies to cutting habits like this and addictions, if you want to call them that, like this. Like, I know that you replace whatever you're habitually doing with something else, and you wean off of that because it's less desirable. I did that with Twitter, actually. That's, for a while, I was really, really avid on Twitter. And the reason I liked Twitter as a replacement to Reddit was because Twitter, you ran out of your feed. For me, it was like I had 30 minutes of browsing material in a day, and I could just shift that however I wanted. I could do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes in the midday, and 10 minutes in the evening. I could do all 30 minutes in the morning, and then throughout the day get about 5 extra minutes of buffer. Either way, it was finite to me. And I know you can keep browsing and checking out other people's profiles. That doesn't interest me, so that doesn't even really come up. But yeah, I genuinely loved Twitter for the first while because the content for my timeline was finite. And then the Twitter part of Twitter took over. That place is mind-boggling. I don't even want to get into Twitter as a platform. I genuinely think it is easily the worst social media platform, maybe exempt from Instagram, but as far as the platforms I've used, Twitter is by far the worst. Actually, funny story with that as well. I think the second time I quit Reddit, the website I switched it out for was Imgur, or Imgur, as some people call it. And it was great at the time being browsing the front page, but trying to get invested in that community, that's also another pretty fucking bad community. Also, the quality is pretty garbage on there, I'm not gonna lie, and so are the moderation tools and everything else. Yeah, I remember coming back to Reddit after like that 6-month stint and going, this is significantly better. And that's not something you want to say. And don't get me wrong, I'm like staying on Twitter. I still don't browse it very often. As a matter of fact, whenever I tweet is about the most often I'll scroll, and it's usually no more than 10 posts. And it especially doesn't help that it's going to be Twitter during presidential election season for America as well. Sorry, I think this video is just expressing my frustration towards political divide and hatred for other people that don't share the same ideology as you. I think that's really the baseline for this video. And I guess the bottom statement is Reddit's a breeding ground for that. So I'm going to take a break. If not, see if I can cut it again for a long time. And just so you all can see, I am uninstalling it. And just like that, problem's gone, right? Of course not. I've done this before. The scariest part to me is when you start recognizing your own habits. When you wake up in the morning, and without even thinking of it, your hand goes over to your phone, pulls it up to your face, unlocks it, and clicks on that spot where the icon used to be. Only for your dumbfounded, unawake face to go, why am I on my phone? And then realizing that you were about to do 30 minutes of Reddit in the morning, but you can't now. Another thing to tie into that, I found that having Reddit with you all the time, especially on a mobile device, like on a computer is one thing because you can only browse when you're actually at your station, which I don't get around to very often. But browsing on your phone and having that with you all the time is wild, because you can be on Reddit anywhere. You can be, in the car, at work, when you're just walking somewhere, at a supermarket, on the toilet. You can be on Reddit, and you can be wasting time. And it blows my mind how every time I quit Reddit, or again, I take a break, if you want to call it that, I find my level of creativity skyrockets. Because in all of those moments where I was filling my time slots with this habit, I now don't have it. So my brain has to find new ways to entertain itself. And most of the time, it's coming up with video ideas, or it's coming up with tabletop RPG ideas, or it's coming up with song melodies or something. Basically, just not the fucking garbage on that platform, which is nice. And don't get me wrong, we all need ways to turn our brain off. We all need ways to unwind and to just unload all of the shit in our heads. It is still the modern world, and life loads us up way too much with stimuli and information. But I think it's more worthwhile to unwind with a book, or reading an article, or playing a game and having an experience, or playing online with your friends, or even just sitting with your friends and having a conversation. Computer, why did you go dark? There's just so many other things you could be doing with that time. And what else do we have in life other than our time? Do you really want to be throwing that away to a website and a community that doesn't care for you? You have every right to. I mean, I've done it. I can't judge anyone else for doing it. I realize I don't want to be throwing it away again. I realized it again. Wish me luck. I will report back either when my habit takes over, or if it's been a couple months and I'm still off of Reddit. I'll let you guys know. In the meantime, thank you for stopping by. I really do appreciate every time you come to listen to me ramble. You have yourselves a great day, and as always, take care. I don't have a funny bit planned for the end of the video.